So this is how it begins. Not with a celebration, not with fireworks, but with confusion, silence, and outrage. Caitlin Clark, the face of a new generation in women's basketball, just had one of the most baffling games of her career. And fans? They're not just shocked, they're enraged, because what they witnessed on that court wasn't just a bad night. It was something far more sinister. The Indiana Fever hit the hardwood, but it was like watching a different team, a broken team. Clark barely touched the ball. There was no rhythm, no spacing, no flow, and for the fans who bought tickets months in advance, who tuned in expecting fireworks, what they got was a cold, empty echo of the greatness they were promised. It wasn't just an off game. It wasn't rust. It was a system failure. And all signs are pointing in one direction. Head coach Stephanie White, the same coach who arrived with promises of structure, vision, and a championship mentality. Instead, she's delivered dysfunction, stagnation, and a system that looks allergic to its brightest star. Fans weren't just disappointed. They were furious. The Fever's latest social media post is flooded with comments like, "I bought these tickets for Clark, and this isn't what we signed up for." Words like rob, sabotage, and boycott are being thrown around like warning shots. This isn't just sports drama, it's a full-blown uprising. Because what we're seeing now, it's not just a team underperforming. It's a generational talent being smothered. And the most alarming part, it might not be an accident. It might be part of a bigger agenda, one that fans have just started to uncover. And it starts with one person, Stephanie White. She came in with the clipboard, the resume, the calm demeanor. But what we're learning now is that behind the curtain, there may be something much darker, something strategic, something personal. And it's starting to feel like Caitlin Clark was never part of the plan. The offense, it's stagnant. The players, confused. The chemistry, non-existent. Clark is running around screens like a role player, reduced to a corner shooter, while lesser talents dominate the possession. This isn't about development. This isn't about easing a rookie into the system. This feels like sabotage. And the question on everyone's mind is, why? Why would any coach sideline the most electrifying player the WNBA has seen in years? Why would you take a human highlight reel and turn her into a ghost on the court? Well, buckle up, because the answer isn't just shocking, it's career-defining. And it starts with a single quote, a moment from the past that now casts a long, unforgiving shadow over everything happening in Indiana today. Stephanie White once made a statement about Luka Doncic that stopped fans dead in their tracks. "The Mavericks just play differently without Luka," she said. "When he's off the floor, the ball moves, everyone's involved, and the game flows. On paper, maybe it sounds tactical, but in context, it's a red flag waving in a hurricane, because that comment didn't age well. Luka led the league in scoring, dragged the Mavs to the finals, and yet White's takeaway was that the team was somehow better without him. That's not strategy, that's delusion. And now, fans are connecting the dots. That same mindset, the one that devalues superstars and glorifies system over talent, is being used against Clark. And the results? They're disastrous. This is no longer a theory, it's a pattern. Stephanie White doesn't want a playmaker. She doesn't want a generational scorer. She wants her system, her plan, her ego. And if you don't fit into it, you're benched, no matter how many jerseys you sell or fans you bring in. And that's why people are demanding answers. Because this isn't just basketball. This is a culture war inside the WNBA. A battle between old school rigidity and new age brilliance. And Clark? She's the one paying the price. Let's talk about what's really going on inside that Fever locker room. Because from the outside looking in, it's chaos wrapped in confusion, served with a side of betrayal. The body language is off. The rotations make no sense. And every time Caitlin checks into the game, it's like someone hit the mute button on the entire offense. She's running without purpose, moving without direction, fighting for every single point, while the rest of the team jogs in circles. There's no fast break, no pick and roll, no two-player game designed to unlock her unique talents. And that's not a coincidence. That's a design flaw. Stephanie White has built a system that Clark was never meant to lead. It's a system designed for interchangeable parts, not singular brilliance. The kind of scheme where everyone touches the ball, but no one actually does anything with it. And the numbers back it up. When Clark is on the bench, the Fever implode. When she's active, they at least stay afloat. But the usage, It's abysmal. She's being iced out of the game like she's a liability instead of an asset. Fans aren't dumb. They see it, they feel it, and they're done with the gaslighting. This isn't rookie struggle. It's strategic suffocation. It's a coaching philosophy built on control rather than trust. The most chilling part? It's not new. Stephanie White's coaching history is littered with the same signs. Back-to-back disastrous seasons at Vanderbilt, star players driven off, offenses that sputtered and collapsed under the weight of overcoaching. And who was right there with her during that collapse? Carolyn Peck, White's former NCAA title-winning coach. The same person who just went on record saying, "The Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark." Let that sink in. Peck and White aren't just coaches. They're co-architect of a system that's allergic to stardom. A basketball philosophy where control trumps creativity and structure outweighs spontaneity. They've built their careers around this ideology. And now, that same ideology is being used to dismantle the most promising rookie the league has seen in a decade. It's not about wins. It's about proving they were right all along, even if it means destroying their own team in the process. Because if Caitlin Clark is allowed to thrive, it means the system has to change. It means giving up the reins. It means admitting that sometimes talent needs freedom, not structure. And for coaches like White, that's unacceptable. So instead, Clark is reduced, minimized, hidden behind schemes and rotations that mute everything that makes her special. And in doing so, the Fever aren't just losing games, they're losing their identity, their momentum, their fan base. And if something doesn't change soon, they're going to lose their future. Because no matter how many systems you build, you can't manufacture greatness. You either let it shine or you snuff it out. And right now, Stephanie White is doing the latter. This isn't just about X's and O's anymore. This is about the fans, the lifeblood of any franchise, the people who buy the tickets, wear the jerseys, and tune in every week to see greatness unfold. And right now, they're mad, they're loud, and they're not backing down. Scroll through the Fever's social media, and you'll see it. Thousands of comments, angry, emotional, and fed up. Free Caitlin. Bench White. This isn't what we were promised. It's not just noise, it's a movement. Because fans didn't fall in love with the system. They fell in love with Caitlin Clark. Her fire, her swagger, her range that starts from the parking lot, and her vision that cuts through defenses like a blade. They tune in to see magic, and instead, they got mediocrity. Not because Clark isn't good enough, but because she's being shackled by a system that doesn't trust her to lead. This is the WNBA's golden opportunity, a generational moment, and it's slipping through their fingers. Sponsors are watching, networks are watching, and most importantly, young fans are watching. What message does it send when your brightest star is treated like a bench player? Other teams are already salivating at the thought. Give US Clark, they whisper. We'll build around her. We'll give her the keys. But right now, she's trapped in a system that refuses to let her shine. And it's not just hurting the Fever, it's hurting the league. Because every time Clark is minimized, so is the WNBA's future. Every missed opportunity, every broken play, every stagnant possession is a strike against progress. So what happens next? That's a question echoing across arenas, inside Twitter threads, and through the disappointed sighs of fans who once had so much hope. Do the Fever make the bold move to evolve? Or do they continue to crumble beneath the weight of outdated ideologies and stubborn coaching philosophy? Because right now, the answer is looking more and more grim by the game. Caitlin Clark isn't just being misused, she's being wasted. And in professional sports, there's no greater sin. This isn't a league that can afford to fumble a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Let's not sugarcoat it. Clark is the single biggest draw the WNBA has had in years. Her presence sells out arenas. Her highlights dominate social media. Her name is on every banner, every headline, every marketing campaign. But what fans are seeing on the court doesn't match the hype. It doesn't even come close. It's false advertising, and it's costing the league more than just wins. The problem isn't just Stephanie White's system. It's the culture that enables it, a culture that clings to the idea that basketball should be played a certain way, regardless of the talent in front of you, that values predictability over explosiveness, control over creativity, and system over stardom. And in that culture, a player like Clark doesn't just struggle, she suffocates. And while fans scream for change, while analysts rip apart the game film, while opposing coaches openly marvel how little Clark is being allowed to do, the Fever remain quiet, silent, almost indifferent, as if they don't hear the outrage, as if the front office is content watching their franchise cornerstone become a decoy in her own story. But fans aren't going to stay silent. Not anymore. They know what's happening. They've seen enough. The leaked footage, the body language suppressors, the cryptic comments, every piece of the puzzle is now on full display. And the image it paints is damning. Stephanie White is not building a team around Clark. She's building a team around herself. This isn't player development. It's damage control disguised as leadership. And the longer this continues, the more irreversible the harm becomes. Confidence is fragile, even in the greats. Momentum can disappear overnight. And once fans turn on a franchise, it takes a miracle to win them back. And yet, the solution is so painfully obvious. Put the ball in Clark's hands. Let her run the offense. Let her fail. Let her succeed. Let her breathe. Because that's how stars grow. That's how dynasties begin. Not through micromanagement and rigid game plans, but through trust, through freedom, through belief. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about every young girl watching, every future baller dreaming of a league that celebrates their skills instead of shrinking them. What message are we sending when even the brightest stars are told to dim their light? If the Fever won't unleash Clark, someone else will. And when that day comes, the regret will be enormous, because this isn't just a franchise player. This is a movement, a cultural shift, a symbol of what's possible when talent is truly empowered. And if the WNBA lets that go to waste, it won't just be the Fever that suffers. It'll be the entire sport. The locker room can feel it too. Players aren't blind. They know what's happening. Some are frustrated. Others are silently complicit. But the tension is growing. And eventually, that kind of pressure explodes. Whether it's in a players only meeting, a mid-season trade, or a very public resignation, something has to give. And all the while, Clark continues to show up, smiling, saying the right things, carrying herself with grace. But behind those post-game interviews and diplomatic sound bites, you can sense the frustration. You can see it in her eyes. This isn't what she signed up for either. She didn't come here to be quiet. She came here to take over. Stephanie White once said that teams move the ball better without Luka Doncic. That stars slow down the system. That flow matters more than firepower. But ask any championship coach what wins in this league, and the answer is always the same: talent. You don't win by sidelining it. You win by unleashing it. So the next move belongs to the Fever. Will they continue down the self-destructive path? Or will they finally give Clark the platform she deserves? Will they cling to outdated philosophies? Or will they embrace the future that's already knocking at their door? Because one thing is clear, this isn't just a slump. This is a warning. And the longer they ignore it, the louder it will get. The fans are watching. The media is watching. The league is watching. And Clark? She's still standing, still fighting, still ready to lead. But if they keep her chained to the corner, if they keep denying her the freedom she's earned, the fallout won't just be felt in Indiana. It'll echo across the entire WNBA. And by then, it may be too late to fix what's been broken. So to the front office, the coaching staff, and anyone else who still doesn't get it, this isn't just about winning games. It's about doing what's right. It's about honoring the gift you've been given. Because Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. She's the answer. And the longer you wait to realize that, the more damage you'll do. Not just to her, but to the game itself. Fans know this. That's why they're speaking out. That's why they're calling for Stephanie White's resignation. Not out of spite, but out of desperation. Because if the front office won't protect its star, then who will? This is bigger than basketball. It's about ego. It's about power. And it's about whether or not the WNBA is ready to embrace the players who can take it to the next level. The Fever dream is over. Now comes the reckoning. And unless White is willing to change, the fans will demand that she be changed. Because the Caitlin Clark they saw in college, she's still in there, waiting, burning, dying to be unleashed. And until that happens, the Indiana Fever will remain stuck in purgatory, neither rebuilding nor contending, just existing. So to front office, the fans have one message: free Caitlin, before it's too late. If you believe Caitlin Clark deserves better, And if you think this system is destroying not just her game, but the future of women's basketball, drop a free Caitlin in the comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another explosive update from the WNBA's most controversial headlines. This isn't just news, it's a movement.